This new building is almost done, and the sun is starting to show up. It's time to get some direct sunlight on us, man. Hey, why do you look concerned? This building is stealing my sunlight. Of course, there is sunlight, but the early sunrise is seized. What, are you writing a petition against them to get back your sunrise? I'm not blaming them, but it's just that in India we've at least lived in four major cities, okay? So in almost all of them, imagine if this is our home, and I'll just look like one. This is the east and this is the west, okay? There comes a big building or a flyover on this side, and sometimes even both the sides, such that the sun rises in the east, and by the time we actually get the direct sunlight, it is almost about 8:45 to 9 a.m., which is like the hot sun begins then. And in the evening, even before, much before sunset, it vanishes out of sight. So you see, all that we get is the peak hot sun if we have to stay at home, at least during this lockdown period. So, you see, I'm happy not living in taller buildings, but that early sunrise actually gives a reasonable amount of contribution to my happiness. So, did you notice how, in this society of this civilization that we live in, either directly or indirectly, we are pushed into being materially rich in order to even experience something as fundamental and basic as sunlight, early sunrise? We just have one sun, our only son. Why, do you want a daughter too? Sorry. Yeah. Bad joke. You see, I'm sure there was a point of time where every house was equal in terms of getting the sunlight, early sunlight, right? So what have you done? What did I do? In the name of development. Oh. Now, when I say you, I mean plural. Don't you represent the person of this civilization? Just think about this. What have we been defining development or advancement as? Skyscrapers and air-conditioned gyms and treadmills, blenders and grinders, pressure cookers and refrigerators, Western toilets, Western toilets. Tell me, why did we bring in Western toilets and name them Western toilets? At a point of time when Western toilets were introduced in the East, in India, we had squat toilets where you just sit and then poop. At one point again, there was this footrest on the flush toilets where you can just sit on top. But why? I mean, but that's what we were doing in the first place, and it was healthy and fine, right? Some university in the West, they had declared, they did some research and then they declared that squatting positions that the Indians do is the best position because it flushes out the waste from your body better than the Western toilets. It seems that is the best position to sit. So what have you done in the name of development? These air-conditioned gyms are even funnier to me, because why would anyone want to run on a machine in an air-conditioned space trying to sweat out, whereas you can just sweat out naturally by breathing natural air, and the sweat comes easier. Plus you have to pay for it. Let's say even if you're sweating, 10 people sweat in the same space, and that air is circulated inside. You know, my yoga master told me once these pressure cookers and refrigerators were introduced at a point of time when the British was ruling India. These pressure cookers were used to boil rice quickly to serve a lot of people in a small amount of time to the soldiers who were in the war zone. But that's not healthy, you see. And now people who have diabetes, it is recommended by doctors that you need to just flush out the water, because the water that comes out from the rice is not good for diabetes. And refrigerators were basically meant to preserve the drugs. The pharmaceutical industry started growing, right? And now we've started to keep everything inside that for days and then have it. And now again, you see, the researchers are telling that it's unhealthy to have things for a long period of time, even if it's just 2 days or something in the refrigerator, and then have it. Vegetables, fruits, you name it. These clay pots, which our grandmother used, was much better. Even to this day, villages in Africa and in India, they still use that. Plus, you don't have to pay for the electricity and all that. What have you done in the name of advancement? So the list is pretty long, but the point is, somewhere in YouTube or somewhere I saw this beautiful line that said, we have been defining development by successfully complicating simplicity. Successfully complicating simplicity is not advancement, is it? We've compensated our own physical and mental health to grow instant gratification. I actually thought that the average lifespan is decreasing, but actually it's not. It's actually increasing. This might be surprising, okay? That is because we have somehow advanced, so-called, in terms of medical science in such a way that we can prolong a person's life but not healthy living. But at least earlier people lived healthy, maybe not longer. So they, take grandma. So what are we talking about? These grinders and blenders and even pressure cookers. All these were manually done in such a way that the body had tremendous amount of good exercise. You have to just, all the pranayama and asanas that people are doing now, they just did it not in the name of pranayama. They used to boil rice in a pot with firewood, and to light the fire, they have to blow to just give air to just spark up. So you see, good work for the lungs, and then they bend down, they rise up, and they would rise up early. Pure natural living. They even performed deliveries, giving birth to babies in their own homes. Practically speaking, I don't think we can immediately go back on the whole, but at least if we try to come down from the towers of comfort and try to lead an organic life as much as possible, that would actually make a lot of difference. Of course, there are good things. We communicate from one part of the world to the other. We travel quickly from one part of the world to the other. There are good things, of course, yes, but a lot of what we call as advancement is actually a consequence of greed. But as far as the general mass of people are concerned, it is rather difficult to find out which advancement is actually healthy. Like I said earlier, the pilot generation of any innovation or advancement is just like in a testing period. Its consequences will start to show up. Nature cannot be in harmony with us as long as we see nature through our money. Hey, have you watched this film called Before Sunrise? Let me guess. Was it taken before the construction of this new building?